So here's how I'm planning to start the second half of the year. So I don't think it's a secret that this year has not gone in the way that I thought it was going to go. I started my year with having to take 2 months off of work because of mental health, and then deciding that I wanted to start a new job, and now being at the point where I'm starting said new job. So to say that it's been a roller coaster of emotions feels like an understatement. I had so many plans at the start of the year, one of which was that I wanted to actually get into the Ragnarok University Discord hosted by Ember and start setting up my own personal curriculums. Obviously, none of that happened. But because we are now in a season of change and hopefully a season where everything is going to calm down, I feel like tides are changing, and here's why. So, a little bit of a backstory. In the past couple of months, and I would even say maybe the past 2 years, I've really been getting into spirituality. And what I mean by that is that I got tarot deck, I got some crystals, I got some candles to burn, but something clicked for me in the past couple of months. And I think the catalyst of that was a few months ago while I was home for 2 months. I had one night where just everything broke down around me. I personally broke down into tears. And I think I even sat on this very floor and looked up at the sky. Obviously, it was the middle of the night because when else do these things happen? And I was literally yelling at the universe and begging the universe to help me, and I don't know what it was that fateful night. I really don't. But I think because I had no energy left to doubt myself or to second guess myself, my intuition kicked up. And what my intuition told me to do was to grab my tarot deck, to light a candle, and pull some cards. Now, I'm not going to get into the weeds into what everything was that happened, but what happened was that I felt like I got the biggest warm hug from the universe, letting me know that everything was going to be okay. It wasn't going to be easy, but everything was going to be okay. But some things also very much needed to change. And I also do believe that that was the night that I really decided that I needed to switch jobs. Now, because I feel like I put this help me cry into the universe, a couple of weeks after, I think even like 1 week or a week and a half after that night, I stumbled upon this job opening that seemed perfect for me. It seemed to have everything that I wanted, and went into talks with those people. And then it turned out that they offered me the job, and that is the job that I'm going to be starting. By the time you're watching this, I will probably already have worked there for the past week. So I hope everything turned out really well. I hope the barrage of information has calmed down, the stress levels have calmed down, and everything is going fine. So the second part of this little history is that in 2018, I bought a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Now, I remember buying this because I was on the interwebs at that current time, and morning pages were everywhere. So I thought, you know what? Because morning pages is one of the basic principles of The Artist's Way, I'm going to buy this book and I'm just going to follow the course. Now, as you can probably tell, I did not complete that course. And I think it's because after a few weeks in, I realized that I really wasn't ready. This takes some amount of introspection and also the ability to do things by yourself. Because one of the other main principles of the Artist's Way is to go on artist dates by yourself. And at that current moment in time, I just wasn't ready to do things by myself. I was way too self-conscious. I did not have the self-confidence to sit at a table by myself, but that has changed. Right now, I feel perfectly comfortable going to lunch by myself, even going on vacation by myself, going on trips by myself. And I feel like that is an indication that we might be ready. Also, I feel like starting this new job is a huge opportunity for me to just switch my life around and reinvent it because I'm going from a very unpredictable schedule that was all over the place, from having late nights to actually having night shifts to being able to be called on every single moment of the day, to now just having a normal, quote unquote, normal 9 to 5 job. And I feel like if I don't take this opportunity, I'm going to be going back to couch rotting and doom scrolling in no time. And I feel like that would be a shame. So why am I bringing you into all of this and dumping all of this history on you? It's because this self-sabotaging queen wants to quit that little nasty habit. And if you've been around any of the psychological spaces, you know that there's this little term floating around. It's called accountability. And I feel like this is my way of keeping myself accountable for actually starting and finishing this course, hopefully this time. Now, as you know, I have been doing some prep behind the scenes. I told you in a previous video that I've made a workbook, and that is now up. You can find that in that video. I will link it in the description. It's also in the Ragnarok University Discord if you want to join us on this whole journey. So wherever you want, you can find this for yourself. But obviously it wouldn't be me if I hadn't set up a large amount of journals. Now, the first journal that I decided to set up or breathe new life into is my life journal, my life bullet journal. I don't think I've touched this in the past 2 months, 3 months maybe even. And that's a shame because I put a lot of effort into setting up those first couple of pages. There is an actual video on there in my channel. I will link it somewhere in this video and you can check that out if you are interested. But I thought the best way to restart this life journal was to actually include some Artist's Way pages because that is going to be a main part of my life in the next 12 weeks. So I set up 2 of the main principles in these starting pages, and the 2 main principles are the morning pages and the artist dates. So on the left-hand side, you'll see that I have created a little circle that correlates with each day that I'm going to be doing morning pages. So hopefully, by the end of this course, every single one of these little circles will be filled in and colored in. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the artist dates, where I just want to keep track on what kind of artist dates I went on. So there's a little bit of room to put in the date, and then also a little bit of room to put in a little description on what I actually got up to. So very simple, very basic, but I thought it was just a fun way to have an overview of how this course went. Now, the next page is actually one that I'm also very excited about. If you have seen my previous video about my July plans, you'll know that I'm actually going to be participating in the 72-day readathon. And one of the main bingo boards that Donna made is this incredible craft side quest. Now, a bunch of these prompts on this bingo board seemed like a perfect thing to also add to the Artist's Way, to be creative, to do on my own, to have a little crafting session. And it just seems to fit in my overall vibe of wanting to take care of myself in the upcoming 12 weeks. So I feel like having the 72-day readathon and this crafty side quest, as well as the Artist's Way course for the next 12 weeks, seems like the perfect mix. And obviously, while we're doing this, I'm also setting up my July front pages. Now, all of these stickers I actually printed out myself on some sticker paper. So if you ever feel like you don't have certain stickers, get yourself some sticker paper and a good printer and just print your stickers to your heart's content. I cannot recommend this enough. So again, the July pages, very straightforward, very easy to do. It's just an overview of the month, a page where I want to list my to-dos for the month, and that's basically it. Now for the main journal for this Artist's Way course, that's going to be this basic Leuchtturm 1917. Now, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to fill this up all the way through because I'm not only planning on using this for the morning pages, I'm also planning on using these for any of the journaling prompts that we're going to get for the Artist's Way. Also, I am planning on using this as a way to stick in my workbook pages. If you've seen, I've also created a printer-friendly version. So I printed those out on the A5 size and cut them up, and I'm deciding to just paste these in here. Now, one of the main things that I'm going to be using this for is to also put in like the weekly tasks and all of those things so that I can check them off and keep on top of those. So obviously we had to start with pasting in the contract because that is the way that the course starts, is they ask you to sign a contract to keep yourself accountable. And it's also a great way to keep track on when you actually started this course because you do have to fill in a date. So this is the first page in this journal. So I think it's pretty official now. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to paste in the weekly tasks and every other kind of journaling prompt that is added onto that into this journal, then do that week, then also obviously have the next week and so on and so forth. So that alongside with the morning pages, I'm pretty confident that this journal will be filled up by the end of this course, and maybe even a second journal, I don't really know. I do know that I'm going to be using the index for this one in the front of this journal to just keep track on where week 1 starts, week 2, week 3, and all the way through, just so that I can have a little bit of a overview of if I want to find certain things, because there are certain moments where they reference a journaling exercise that you've done in previous weeks. So this index is going to make it a lot easier to find those once again. So you might be wondering why you're also seeing my reading journal set up in this video. And that's basically because, as I mentioned before, I am joining the 72-day Readathon challenge by Donna Marie Reads. I will link the announcement video, obviously, in the description down below. And I feel like this is going to be the perfect match to do both of these simultaneously. Why is that? It's because when you look at all of these bingo boards, you will see that one of the main things that I feel like it also focuses on is self-care. Not to mention that a lot of these prompts on these bingo boards will give me ideas for artist dates, which I'm very excited about. As I mentioned, one of the main reasons that I want to do the Artist's Way is I want to combat me going back into the trap of couch rotting and doom scrolling. And I feel like having 5, actually 6 bingo boards filled with prompts of not only books to read, but self-care things to do will be the best way to actually do that. So I kept it very basic. I just pasted in all 5 of the bingo boards and left a little bit of space on this last page to fill in the books that I read for this challenge. I don't know how I'm going to fill it in. It might just be the title and the author and maybe the actual star rating. I don't know. Or maybe I might mention what bingo board I actually read it for. That might be a fun way to keep track of which books that I read for which prompt or which board, but that we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, this 72-day readathon does not start until the 17th, and I'm planning on starting the Artist Way on the 13th, so we have a little bit of a few days in between there, but still, this is just, as I mentioned, a way for me to just up the self-care that little bit more, and I'm very excited to start both at the same time. Now, the last 2 journals that I want to mention kind of serve the same purpose, which is evening journaling, which are these 2. So I have been going back into journaling, especially these past couple of days, past couple of weeks, just because it has been a roller coaster and I needed a spot to put my emotions. So that is what this has been for. And it's been going really well. It's just at my bedside table, and it's just there if I need to journal about my day, journal about something, if I can't sleep, if I have worries, if I'm stressing about something that is keeping me from actually going to sleep. This is what I've been using. And I think what I want to do for the Artist's Way is I think I want to journal about my artist dates in here. Now I have obviously my life journal and I have the actual Artist's Way journal that I'm going to be using, but I feel like journaling about the actual artist dates might be fun to have in this one. Also because I feel like if I also journal about the artist dates, in my Artist's Way journal is going to be filled in like 2 weeks. So we're just going to keep that into here. It just seems like a great way at the end of the day to reflect on how it went. And then the other one is this self-care journal that my coworkers at my previous job actually gifted me at my going away party, just to show you that they actually really do know me. It's even called Cozy Journaling, my self-care tracker. Now this is in Dutch, obviously, because I do live in Belgium. And it's just set up to be filled in. There are no set months, which is perfect. So I started this on the 1st of July, and it's basically a way to track a few things that pertain to self-care. So there's water intake, your vegetables, your healthy eating, your social media time, your movement, your sleep, all of the things that will go in here. Now, as I mentioned, this is also on my bedside table, and I have all of my like little markers that I use in here in a little pen case on my bedside table. So those are what I'm going to be using at the end of the day if I still feel like I need to get some stuff out of my head. So these are going to be the books that are going to be taking over my life in the next couple of weeks, and I could not be more excited about it. I hope that you now understand how I'm planning on doing this. If you also want to do the Artist's Way course, you do not need all of these. I'm just a writing person. I'm just a journaling person. So this made sense for me. Also, it doesn't mean that you're also doing the 72-day readathon at the same time. For those of you that are, maybe this has given you some inspiration. So I'm hoping that going through this course will actually keep me near and dear to myself and will keep me from falling into the couch rotting, self-sabotaging trap. Now, am I promising that I will go through this course with no issues? No. Am I promising that I will not fall off at a certain point? No. But this is my way of keeping myself accountable and actually to just do my best. So I'm hoping that going through this course will help me to keep me near and dear to myself and to actually help me be fulfilled in this new season of life, because that's what we all want, isn't it? And to not fall into the self-sabotaging, couch-rotting, doom-scrolling trap that I've fallen into before. Now, am I saying that I will be going through this course without any issues or without falling off at any point? No. But I do feel like doing this and then also having the 72 readathon in my back pocket to give me actual artist dates ideas and to also give me a way to fill my cup when I need it feels like it's actually setting me up for success at this point in time. Because I will be needing to fill my cup at certain points throughout this course, because I've seen some of the journaling prompts while setting up the workbook. And yeah, they're going to ask you to dig deep at certain points, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to doing the work. I'm not looking forward to how it's going to make me feel afterwards, maybe. So those prompts are probably going to help me out at some point in this course. So I'm hoping that this video has maybe inspired you to join me on this journey. If you're seeing this video later after the 72-day readathon or after this course has gone for those of us who are joining in the month of July, the workbooks are still there. You can still join. You can still join in on the Discord. We're still there to hype you up, to encourage you, to tell you about our experiences. So don't feel like because you didn't stumble upon this video at the time that it came out, that you're too late to join. because I don't think it's ever too late to do this. And I hope that I can tell you that this has helped me in tremendous ways, but we're just gonna have to wait 12 weeks to see how everything went. So after all this talking, I'm just gonna stop this video, have some water, enjoy the rest of my day, and I hope you will too, and I hope I will see you all for the next video. See you guys later. Bye.